Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm going to use the M word. Is it muggy enough for you? Okay. I wish to welcome you to Piedmont Unitarian Universalist Church. Piedmont UU sits on the traditional lands of the Catawba, Kiowa, and Sugary peoples. My name is Cosette Blackmer, and I'm the worship assistant today for Dr. Reverend Amy Rio. We are a flourishing, vibrant, and radically welcoming community which promotes diversity, inclusion, and social justice. We provide a safe haven for creative intellectual growth, spiritual development, and a deep sense of community for all who join us. We hope that our liberal religious values will challenge you to join us as a community that lives boldly and acts justly. To all our visitors and members, we are very glad you are here in person or with us online. Your presence is a gift to us. We have a few announcements this Sunday. The National UU Church has an annual meeting each summer called General Assembly. Our congregation has 3 delegates who are attending. GA has been exploring revisions for our principles in recent years. We held a Zoom meeting last year about this topic, and we've had a number of articles in our weekly announcements and newsletters. And now we are arranging 2 upcoming Zoom meetings to continue these discussions and provide information. The first will be tonight at 7 p.m. Please check your weekly announcements for the Zoom link. Our service today consists of elements on the theme of pluralism, which will help prepare our hearts for these important GA discussions. For other important information about our vibrant community, please see your order of service, or if you are on our email list, check your monthly newsletter or weekly announcements. And at this time, I would like to invite Jack to come forward and please share.
Thank you, Cosette, and good morning. So during March in this same building, we contributed part of our offering proceeds to a very important partner of ours, UU Justice, North Carolina. And it's, it is important for us to help support our partners financially, but there's another part of partnership with these organizations that we've developed. And really a true partnership means taking some action when these partners say it's time to act. And to trust them that this is an action that is going to further the cause of justice. So on Friday during UU Justice North Carolina Action Hour, a call to action was made to us, and it's critical and it's urgent. We are being asked to contact our North Carolina House representatives, your representative, to vote against a bill. It's called HB 10 that has passed the North Carolina Senate, unfortunately, and will be considered by the House this Wednesday. So it's quick. We need some quick action. This bill is a hateful bill. I'll just say it. It would require, and it doesn't make any sense either. This bill would require local law enforcement to cooperate with immigration and custom agents. If this is enacted, sheriffs would be required to, 1, notify ICE if there's any suspicion that this person in custody does not have the proper immigration status. And secondly, it requires sheriffs to hold these people for 48 hours for nothing they've done, so that ICE can deal with them. For this reason, many sheriffs have said it's not something that we want to get involved with. It's turning sheriffs into immigration officials. So versions of this bill have been passed in several states over the years, including Oregon and Massachusetts. Linda and I have had, I don't know, the opportunity to witness this in these two states. So it's following us into North Carolina. It's like whack-a-mole, you know, you hit it down in one and it comes up another. And we've been able to see the harm that this bill reaps with the immigrant community. One, of course, is the harm that it just kills any kind of relationship with law enforcement and the immigrant community. Why would you want to call police into your community to investigate a crime if they're basically going to act as immigration agents? And it just, more importantly, it just strikes fear in their hearts. We've witnessed fear and trauma, and it's not something nice. Linda and I also have been able to work with coalitions to defeat both those bills in these two states. So here's the third. So action. This is action we'd like you to take. Pam Bloom has put a script in the Tuesday weekly email, so please check that. It gives an easy way to contact your representative, your state representative, in a little script. But even easier, Linda and I will have pieces of paper to remind you to do this with the little script, and if we even have a laptop here, if you want to look up the phone number or the email of your state representative. So also for people listening online, we won't be able to hand out that little piece of paper, but if you just write an email to or call your representative, we'd like you to do that too. So many of us have done this already. Some people in the audience have already done this. Please join them. Thanks.
Thank you, Jack, for that important update. Whatever brought you to this place at this hour, we welcome you. May you find something that you need, and may you leave richer in spirit than when you arrived.
Hear now these words from Florence Caplow. We kindle this flame, honoring the doorways in our souls, the windows through which we gaze at one another, the balconies where we catch glimpses of sky, the thresholds we stand on each morning, wondering, hoping, fearing, dreaming. I invite you now to please join me in singing the words to Lighting Our Chalice, the symbol of our faith. I invite you to please rise now in body or spirit for our call to worship found in your bulletin. You are beloved and you are welcome here. You are beloved and you are welcome here.
Whether you are feeling brave or broken-hearted, defiant or defeated, fearsome or fearful.
You are beloved and you are welcome here.
Whether you have difficult stories during side to side, or stories that have been forced beyond the edges of comfort.
You are beloved and you are welcome here.
Whether you make promises, broken promises, or are renewing promises.
You are beloved and you are welcome here.
Whatever is on your heart, however it is resolved in this moment.
You are beloved and you are welcome here. In this space of welcome and acceptance, commitment and recommitment, of covenant and connection, let us worship together. Our opening hymn is found in our gray hymnal, number 354, We Laugh, We Cry.
Something in your expression and more.
Please be seated. And we have one little one over here waiting for me. Yeah. So. How you doing, Harley? Yeah, it's early. Like, all your friends are off some other place today. I'm sure they'll be back next week, so I'm glad to see you. You know, you have some special shoes on. What kind of shoes do you have on today? Boots? Are they a special kind of boots? Oh, caterpillar boots. Those are nice. And those are good to wear for the rain today, aren't they?
Yeah, it was rain outside and got big. I saw a big muddy puddle that I was winding up. I sat all into it.
You splashed in the big muddy puddle. That is great. That's a good.
Don't splash too much.
Don't splash too much. Well, yeah. I mean.
I won't get wet.
Well, I've got a book today that's about a rainy day, actually. And do you know what this is here? This big red thing here? It's an umbrella, absolutely. So this book, called The Big Umbrella, is written by Amy June Bates. And let's see here. Yeah, hold the book. Yeah, that's okay. We're figuring all this out. Okay, by the front door. What's by the front door, Harley? Umbrella. A lot of people keep books by books door. Umbrellas by the front door. Okay, y'all know that. Okay. There's an umbrella. It is big. That is awfully big. Looks almost as big as a building, doesn't it? It is big. It is a big, friendly umbrella. Does the umbrella have a smile on its face? It likes to help. How do you think it helps people?
Because it might get chilly outside.
Yeah, it helps protect them from the rain. It likes to spread its arms wide. See, get really wide. It loves to give shelter. So sometimes it's raining so hard we need the umbrella to keep from getting too wet, don't we? It loves to gather people in. There's several people under the umbrella now, aren't there? Not just one, but several. It's a big umbrella. It doesn't matter if you are tall. This is really tall. It's got a really tall duck there, maybe? Yeah. All right, doesn't matter if you're hairy, right? Everyone can fit under the umbrella. Or plaid. So they're ready to get under the umbrella too. Taking pages, okay. It doesn't matter how many legs you have. Do you see how many people do you think are under there now? 10. Yeah, it's a lot of people under umbrella. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Yes, some people worry that there won't be enough room under the big umbrella. They're worried there's not enough room. But you know what? There always is. The amazing thing is there's always enough room for everybody. Oh, you see how big that umbrella is with the sunshine? The sun is out. Yeah. You know, and that's kind of like what our church is like too. We are like a really big umbrella. There's always room for everyone. Okay? All your friends and everyone else in here. Okay. You gonna talk to Mr. Frank? Harley, thank you so much for talking to me, and thank you for coming down. So you have fun in the rain later on today, okay?
We don't have rain because the clouds has cleared and now the sun has came
It has stopped raining.
It rained outside earlier, and then it got a big white puddle because my friend has come to make a big, yeah, it's like a big.
You are very smart and observant. I appreciate that. So, well, thanks for talking to me, and I'll see you next week. We now transition to our time for ritual and sacred sharing. We share our joys and sorrows, our concerns and milestones. For this week, we light a candle. First, we light a candle for Eva C. from our Salisbury gathering. Eva bridged this morning, had her bridging ceremony, which we have full house, a lot going on, and also officially joined the church. So it's been a big day for Eva. We also light a candle for Little Feathers, her birthday today, whenever you see her. For Neil, as he continues to recover from rotator cuff surgery. For Meredith and Don, with recent health concerns they've been experiencing. For all who've been impacted by tornadoes in Oklahoma. For the ongoing struggle for civil rights in Iran. For all who are suffering in Gaza, and for necessary aid to be made readily available for them. For all areas of violence around the world, especially Haiti, the Sudan, and the war in Ukraine. And today is an observance, a national observance for missing and murdered Indigenous girls and women. And we remember all of them and their loved ones today. Now at this time, you are welcome to come forward as you would like to do so. I invite you to come forward by the far wall. You may fill out a prayer card to place on the prayer wall. You may light your own candle of joy or concern, and Cassette will hand you the candle. Or you may simply place a stone in our shared water. We now light a few more candles for the things we hold in our hearts, which remain unspoken, and also for those who are joining us virtually to honor what is in their hearts as well. At this time, we will now enter into a period for quiet rest or meditation or prayer. I will sound the singing bowl, and then I invite you to settle into your seat, to slow your breath, and to simply breathe slowly in and out for this time of meditation.
Our wisdom reading this morning is The Blind Man and the Elephant, a story from the Jain tradition. Once upon a time, there lived 6 blind men in a village. One day, the villagers told them, "Hey, there's an elephant in the village today." They had no idea what an elephant was. They decided, even though they would not be able to see it, they would just go and feel it anyway. All of them went to where the elephant was. Each one of them touched the elephant. "Hey, the elephant is a pillar," said the first man who touched a leg. "Oh, no, it's like a rope," said the second man who touched the tail. No, it's as thick branch of a tree, said the third man who had touched the trunk. It's like a big hand fan, said the fourth man who touched the ear of the elephant. It's like a huge wall, said the fifth man who touched the belly of the elephant. It is like a solid a solid pipe, said the sixth man who touched the tusk of the elephant. They began to argue about the elephant, and every one of them insisted that he was right. It looked like they were getting agitated. A wise man passing by and saw this. He stopped and asked them, "What is the matter?" They said, "We cannot agree on what an elephant is like." Each one of them told the wise man what he thought the elephant was like. The wise man calmly explained to them, "All of you are right. The reason every one of you are telling it differently is because each one of you touched a different part of the elephant. So actually, the elephant has all of the features that you said." "Oh," everyone said. There was no more fight, and they felt happy that they were all right. In Jainism, it is explained that truth can be stated in 7 different ways. This allows us to live in harmony with people who have of different thinking.
Thank you, Cosette. Now, in 1991, Dr. Diana Eck founded the Pluralism Project at Harvard University. The United States has been a religiously diverse nation since its beginning. Even before it became a country, we had a good amount of religious diversity here. And as I think all of us know, religious diversity has increased dramatically since the late 1700s. So the Pluralism Project tells a lot more about what religious diversity is and how we can best honor that in this society. It defines pluralism not as tolerance or relativism. It's not, well, let's just all get along and be nice to each other, right? But it's truly an ethic for how we live together in a diverse society. An ethic for how we live together in a diverse society. Pluralism is about how we encounter the fact of diversity. Now, as we have our theme of pluralism this month, I'm sure many of us have heard that term that describes America as a melting pot. Y'all heard that? Yeah. But think about what happens in a melting pot. Everything melts together. All distinction is lost. Pluralism instead uses the image of a stew or a salad. Now think of a good stew or salad. We still recognize the various ingredients and we honor them. But all the ingredients come together in a way that creates something new and delicious. We might think about a good, fresh summer tomato. Maybe some of y'all are going to grow some this summer. If you have any extras, passing by my way. So, but how good that tastes on its own. But then imagine we put it with a salad. Maybe we put a little bit of salt on it. We have some really good dressing. There's some feta or goat cheese, some crunchy lettuce. And it brings out notes of the tomato that it doesn't have by itself. In a stew or salad, the ingredients talk and engage with each other, and they bring out notes we wouldn't be aware of if they were isolated. That's the critical thing about pluralism. Pluralism is grounded in dialogue. Dialogue. Pluralism is just not possible without dialogue. It's not possible without engaging with the other. Now let's think about our wisdom reading for today. A very well-known story from the Jain tradition about 7 blind men and an elephant. The men all had their own perspective, their own unique way of viewing the world, depending upon what part of the elephant that their hands touched. And if these men never spoke, never engaged or interacted, they would think their perspective was the absolute truth. They would never recognize that someone else might have a different perspective, a perspective every bit as valuable and containing every bit as much truth as their own. Communication, honest communication, is always the key, isn't it? Now, I've been actively engaged with interfaith work for almost 25 years. And with any interfaith work or in any kind of interfaith community, communication is best done in 2 different ways. The first way is just doing service or volunteer work together. Our church, with our Salisbury gathering, is heavily involved in welcoming immigrant families with Lutheran family services, and they have bonded together with different faith communities to do some very important work, service and volunteer work in the Salisbury area. We are helping do that as a church. But the second way, I'm going to speak a little bit more about, of doing interfaith work and engagement, is simply by finding ways to spend time together. Perhaps sharing a meal, and then talking, discovering what individuals might have in common. A number of years ago, we had at Salem College, where I was a chaplain, we had a group of teenage girls who were Muslim who came to share about their faith. This was about 15 years ago. So some of y'all know historically kind of how things were going. We only had a small handful of students who were Muslim. And so the vast majority of the students who were there had never really heard someone talk so much about their own faith perspective. And we set things up in a rather informal way. We had more of a panel and then had some more informal discussion. And here we all have teenage girls and young adult women, and they soon began to talk about things like some of their favorite makeup or fingernail polish or things like that. And later some students shared with me, wow, I just didn't even imagine those teenage girls would be thinking about that. Yeah, there's some things you really have in common, apart from if you wear a hijab or not, or what kind of food you might eat or place that you worship. The thing about interfaith dialogue also that is so critical, when we are talking with someone of a different faith or different belief set, we have to explain our own beliefs. Now, I've worked with a number of people over the years who actually found this the most difficult part. When someone said, well, why do you believe X? They had to explain that. So many of us just accept ideas or rituals without ever having to explain why we take those practices or believe those ideas. When we engage with others in an authentic way, we not only understand our own beliefs more fully, we also find points of commonality and ways we can be in community together. Now, pluralism is best possible when we learn about other faiths and beliefs, when we engage with each other in an authentic and respectful manner, and when we find ways to celebrate both our distinctions and our commonalities. Now, when I started working at Salem just about 17 years ago, one of the first things I did was establish an interfaith council. And this was a pretty early thing. It was before we even had Winston-Salem Interfaith, the community established. Now, for a small college, we had a great deal of religious diversity. And it was important for us to create a truly pluralistic campus, not just have people in their little pockets or silos. So as we created this interfaith council, one of the students had a wonderful idea to create a breaking bread evening. Students from different faith traditions would bring some kind of bread, put that in quotation marks, whatever was a basic element for their faith tradition or their culture, and they would share it together. So we all gathered in the evening, and we had a big table, and it would be filled with things like Moravian Love Feast buns. Some of y'all know what those are, because Salem is a historically Moravian institution. If you haven't had any, they're really, really good, by the way. So we also had things like naan, rice, unleavened crackers, a whole variety of Mexican sweetbreads, challah, and probably some other items I'm sure I'm forgetting. So the individuals or students who brought each item shared about its meaning, when they might normally eat this bread, or bread, again in quotation marks, this item, what it meant, and some of them they had to actually go do some homework to figure out why they ate it, why it was a tradition they had in their family or their community. And then we would all eat our fill. As people would share these stories, they would say, oh, that sounds like when my family or my church or my faith community, when we do X. So many things they had in common. Distinctions and commonalities, all celebrated together, each from our own perspective. In the coming days, I'd like to invite you to do two things. Now, firstly, all of you can easily do this. Take some time to reflect on your own core beliefs. Now, it might be our principles or values as you use, which really help give you a good starting point for that. But think about what you truly believe. Write it down, or perhaps do an image collage. Just think of some way that you really can be present with connecting with your own soul and thinking about what is the core heart of your belief. And the second thing I invite you to do is to find some way to engage with someone who has some different beliefs. Now, it might well be someone here in our own church, because we are a big umbrella, right? So it might well be someone here that has some beliefs that vary from yours. But whoever you find some way to spend some time together, perhaps share a cup of tea or some food if you can, and then talk about what is most important for you in your own spiritual journey, and then listen actively as they share what is important for them in their spiritual journey with their own belief perspective. The two of you will have some distinct perspectives and differences, and you will have some things in common. Now, I know that many of you have done this kind of thing in the past, But it's important for us to make this an ongoing part of our own spiritual journey. Not just to remember a time, maybe 10 years ago, we talked with someone from a different faith tradition or belief set, but to make this an active part of the journey and the way we walk. All of us have blinders, right? Every single one of us. We all have our own unique perspective. And we all have so much to gain by truly engaging in a pluralistic way with the world around us. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
Thank you, Anne. That was a beautiful arrangement. Well played. Now let there be an offering to sustain and strengthen this place, which is sacred to so many of us, a community of memory and of hope, for we are now the keepers of the dream. This month, we are sharing our offering plate with the Metrolina Native American Association. Metrolina Native American Association exists to empower and advocate for the American Indian people residing in Mecklenburg, Union, Gaston, Stanley, Lincoln, Anson, Carrabas, Rowan, Cleveland, and Iredell counties. We ask that you place your gift in the baskets as they make their way around the room, and you are always welcome to give online at puuc.org or by texting PUUC at the number 73256. This morning's offering will now gratefully be received.
We give thanks for all the many generous gifts which you offer this beloved community as we go forth living out our principles and values for this world. I invite you now to please rise and body your spirit for our closing hymn found in our Till hymnal, number 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. Before we extinguish our chalice, I offer thanks for all the many volunteers who've helped make our service possible today. We also ask if you will leave your hymnals on the cart near the piano. That will be great. Special thanks to people who helped set up chairs this morning. Wayne, our custodian, did our floors at the end of the week, so we hadn't had a chance to get those back after they dried. So thank you for doing that this morning as well. So let us take a moment to give thanks, either in our hearts or with words, for all the many things for which we are grateful today. Ann?
I'm grateful for my son-in-law. He's a police inspector with Kannapolis Police, and I think the week has shown that working in law enforcement is a very dangerous profession. It's been a very sobering week this week.
Yeah. Grateful for all the people who've been working in law enforcement, and yeah.
Grateful for my sister who's visiting.
Oh, very grateful for Mimi's sister today.
I'm thankful that I've graduated from a walker to a cane.
Frank, we are also grateful you have graduated from a walker to cane. Doing great.
Grateful for this community and the church.
Grateful for this community and the church.
Nice to see some faces that we haven't seen in a while. Dutton's, Robin.
Yeah, glad to see some faces. People haven't been able to be with us in a while, and so grateful for pluralism. Yes.
I'm grateful for the creatures who come to my deck to eat.
Yeah, grateful.
The raccoons who leave their paw prints on the windows.
Gail's grateful for the creatures come to her deck to eat, especially the little raccoons leave their paw prints there. We give thanks for all these things and also so much more that we hold in our hearts today. Let us now go forth welcoming and celebrating the diversity of our spiritual community. We now extinguish our chalice, but we carry its light, its warmth, and its meaning with us until we meet again. May we go in peace, believe in peace, create peace wherever we may wander. May it be so. For our closing song, we make a circle, and you may hold hands if you would like, and you also may simply place your hands on your heart if you'd like to do that.